An affordable flagship smartphone with not so famous brands. If someone asks you which phone are you using, then you might not be able to brag about it. But hey, you are getting what you want and it is any time better than selling your kidney. Well, the phone which I'm talking about is Honor View 10, which is an affordable flagship smartphone of 2018 by Huawei. Well, you might be thinking, if I'm spending rupees 30,000, then what all things I'm getting in this phone? Is the camera good? Do I get a big battery? How is the performance? Well, we'll know all the things, but before that, you make sure you have subscribed to Moviezim and also hit the bell icon so that you know whenever I come up on YouTube. Before I start, I want you all to know that I was using this as my daily driver phone, and while I was using this phone, it accidentally fell and boom, I got cracks on the screen. Well, I should say that I did a drop test and Honor View 10 failed. Well, keeping that aside, talking about the build and design of this phone, we get a metal back. It has got a matte finish, so there are no smudges whatsoever. Then we get visible antenna band. See, one thing I need to tell you all is that everything is positioned very well. Like, it adds to its premiumness. The visible antenna bands and the positioning of the fingerprint sensor and also the camera bump. I know it might be an issue, this protrusion might be an issue, but hey, the phone is quite thin, so the camera bump is inevitable. So you can use a cover which you have got for this phone and then you're good to go. And also you get a screen guard here. Well, I don't know what screen protection is given here, it's not mentioned, but I doubt. I cannot say that it is fairly scratch resistant because my experience was not that good, but I know it was because of the position from which it fell. But hey, the glass is 2.5D core, so we get a good grip. Overall, it looks premium, it feels premium, and it is neat, decent and simple, I should say. To the bottom, we get a headphone jack. Besides that, there is Type-C USB port, a mic and a speaker, and we get on-screen navigation buttons here. If you don't find it convenient like I do, then you have an alternative for it as well. You need to go to the settings, Smart Assistant, then click on Smart Navigation, then on off-screen navigation button, wherein you can use the fingerprint sensor as your single navigation key, in which if you want to go back, like if you want to return, then simply touch the fingerprint sensor, which excludes payment, authentication and enrollment screens, then touch and hold to return to the home screen, and for recent tasks, slide left or right on the navigation key. For Google app, swipe up from edge of screen. This might be new to you, but you would get used to it and it would be more convenient. This is what my experience is about it. And then say for example, if you don't like the on-screen navigation buttons position, then you have navigation dock option, wherein you can change the position to the way you find it to be convenient. Coming to the display segment, here we get 5.99-inch IPS LCD screen and it is a full HD plus screen. But here we can customize many things, like say screen resolution, we can change it from HD plus to full HD plus, and also we can switch on the smart resolution, wherein if we are running out of battery, then it would lower the screen resolution. Then the aspect ratio of this phone is 18:9, which means it would easily fit in your palms, but then if you are typing and if you want to slide the notification bar, then you have to use both your hands. We get a great quality output here. Auto brightness sensor is also working really good, but here in the display we get a blue tint, and again here we can customize the color temperature of the screen, that is from default to warm or cold. Like, it's up to us if we like the blue tint or warm or the yellowish or reddish screen, we can get it on the spot. In sleep mode, there is one thing which I can say I didn't like, is that I cannot keep my screen always on. Like, there's always this time limit from 30 seconds to 10 minutes. But say for example, if I'm reading an article and I'm doing nothing, I'm doing no activity with the screen, like I'm not clicking on it, but I'm looking at the screen, so the screen of the phone won't go to sleep till the time I am looking at the phone, which is something nice. See, I'm talking more about the settings because it runs on Android Oreo along with EMUI 8.0, so you get a lot of customization here. I'm just making you aware of it. Then there are a few apps that have not been optimized for full screen display, so we get black borders when we open the display. But if we enable the full screen display setting, then we can get enhanced viewing experience. And the few apps which I can see are M Indicator, Ola Cabs, Share It, and few Honor apps, and Google Play Store as well, Google Play services. Geekbench also, and Asphalt Nitro. These apps are not optimized for the full screen display, so we need to enable it, and I'm gonna show you how it looks before and after enabling the full screen display. When you use this phone, you might think that the screen is big because we are used to 16:9 aspect ratio, and then again this 18:9 trend came. So here we can tweak the view mode, wherein if we want more information in the screen, then we can tweak the view mode, or else if we want big text on the screen, like just in case if you got spectacles or something, then you can slide it to large as well. Then comes the text size, which is only available for messaging, dialer and contacts. Herein you can switch it from small to normal to large to extra large according to how you feel comfortable reading it. Well, I can make a separate video on the settings of it, like there's so much customization in it, but now I'm gonna tell only the important things that matters, like we use it usually, only those things. Coming to the software and UI of Honor View 10, as I told, it runs on Android Oreo along with EMUI 8.0, which looks and feels a lot similar like EMUI 5.0. So what all additional features do we get in EMUI 8.0? Let us see that. So firstly, there's this theme store in which there are a lot of themes from which you can choose any one according to your preference. Then you can enable and disable app drawer, and you can customize your home screen style. Then there is App Twin feature, wherein you can use two instances of the same social networking apps, that is Facebook, WhatsApp or Instagram, and we have seen this feature in many of the Honor phones. I have already mentioned the customization which we can do in the display settings, so now let us move ahead. Talking about security in EMUI 8.0, which can be a key feature. Alright, see, the three general security options which we are usually aware of is fingerprint ID, facial recognition. I'm going to talk about it, how fast it is, how convenient it is very soon, and the third is the screen unlock with password. But apart from that, there is another option as well. See, we usually come across this sentence that I need some space, be it in relationship or with your parents or sibling or house, and also we need some private space in phone as well. Okay, so there's this option of private space fingerprint, wherein we can save our apps and files in it, and we can lock it with our different fingerprint. So it would be automatically enabled whenever we unlock our phone with that particular fingerprint, which we can call it as private space fingerprint. Well, why do I feel like I'm promoting the features of this phone? Well, anyway, getting back to it, this private space feature can be useful for parents so that they can give their phone to the kids without any worry, and for people of my age to store their sweet memories and photos in the app. Another security feature is file safe, wherein you can encrypt your files, videos, photos, and it can be only accessed with your fingerprint or password. Then comes one-handed UI, wherein you can swipe right on the navigation bar to switch between mini screen and full screen view, and it can also be applied on keyboard. See, we have seen this on many of the Honor devices. Let us now quickly talk about the gestures. You can flip the phone to mute, pick up to wake the device, and raise to ear to answer the calls automatically. You can also use your one knuckle to take the screenshot, two knuckles to start the screen recording. You can draw a line across the device using your knuckle. It would then enable split screen mode. You can draw some gestures on the phone to open some specific apps. Let us now talk about the hardware and performance of Honor View 10 or Honor V10, whatever you want to call it. It comes with Huawei's own HiSilicon Kirin 970 processor. Now this processor is AI focused processor. AI is the new buzz today, right? I was trying to explain my dad that this phone has artificial intelligence in it, but I was not able to justify it because I think this is just the start of AI in phones. So our question would be how different this phone is, what all extras do we get in this phone as it is an AI enabled phone. Majorly we see AI in the camera segment. So what happens in here is our phone camera would detect the scenario and accordingly it would optimize the photo. Scenarios like landscape, or if you are taking a picture of food or pet, so it would understand that it is a pet, then I have to sharpen the photo, I have to optimize, modify the photo accordingly, and it would bring us the result. Now the question is, how would we know that AI is taking care care of it. AI has detected the landscape mode or a portrait mode, so it gives us a logo down to the bottom that it has detected, and now AI is taking care of it and we need not worry. So in this way, AI is playing a role of a photographer, a professional photographer I should say, and it is in short reducing our work, which is what AI is supposed to do, right? But this is it about the camera, and then we see AI in the translator app. So now what happens in this is it would translate our audio into a particular language. It would translate an image with text into any of the language, but we do get these translator apps online as well, right? So in this, what happens is with neural processing network in our processor itself, we can use these apps in offline mode. I tried using this app, the image translation was working well, but with the audio it was miscommunicating. So I think this is where it lags. Then comes the face unlock feature, wherein the device would be automatically unlocked once it recognizes our face, and let me tell you, it is buttery smooth with no lag, because even when accidentally I was lifting up the phone and having a glimpse at it, see, it would be unlocked without any lag. I like the feature, and I also compared it with OnePlus 5, and this one's a tad faster. Then with the fingerprint sensor, it is working the same with no lag. It is working buttery smooth. You just have to tap it and boom, it would detect your fingerprint and unlock the phone really quick. We played games like Asphalt 8, Modern Combat, Asphalt Nitro, and there was no lag or frame drops observed. EMUI Game Store feature blocks the notifications and hides the navigation bar while gaming to avoid the interruptions. Most of the games runs at 16:9 aspect ratio, but EMUI 8.0 allows you to run such apps in 18:9 aspect ratio. Speaker is at the bottom, which is really loud, and you can cover it easily when you hold it in the landscape mode. Honor V10 packs 3750 mAh of battery. The number sounds good and it also works well. It worked for a whole day. Like, I used it as an average user, texting, browsing, watching videos, gaming for a while, and few percent was left in the end as well. The charging time for this phone from 0% to 100% would take you around 1.5 hours. But then again, you get battery saving mode in the settings, which would block some background apps activity and stops auto synchronization. And there is also ultra power saving mode, which allows phone to do only calls and messages for longer usage of the phone. The sound output of this phone is also really good. Like, its lows and highs are well balanced. It's not that loud, but we get a good quality in ear. In short, I can say that it is flat with no amplification done. Coming to the camera segment of this phone, camera is something in which the neural processing unit of the Kirin 970 processor comes in picture. Well, we get in the camera app few modes, many modes I should say, not few, like portrait mode, moving pictures, time-lapse, panorama, pro mode, and we get pro mode for videos too. And as this is AI centric, we get augmented reality stickers like Snapchat in this camera app. In Honor V10, we get dual lens rear camera, which is 16 megapixel and 20 megapixel RGB and monochrome sensor respectively, and both has got f1.8 aperture. In this, it is using its neural processing unit to detect the subject in the picture, and it uses the best setting according to its AI algorithm. And image quality is absolutely impressive. As we can see here in wide aperture mode, the edge detection, its color reproduction, and also the blurring works perfectly fine. View 10 has managed to produce a natural depth effect, I should say. And then when I enable the moving picture mode, while I was in a moving train, I captured an image and I thought it would be blur and I wouldn't see anything, but the image result was above my expectation. And also I clicked a picture wherein a bird was flying. In this, as you can see here, the bird's wing is also visible. The daylight image of View 10 looks good. I did not see any distortion while zooming the images, but in low light, so as we can see here, it lags a bit detailing in it. Well, then coming to the front camera, it is 13 megapixel and it also gives good results. We can enhance our selfies using beautify mode. It blurs the background in the portrait mode, but while group selfie, it leaves the background unblurred. Again, low light images are just above average. But then now let us see if this gets fixed in the future updates. When it comes to video recording, View 10 rear camera can shoot 4K videos, and there's also an option of shooting 1080p videos and 60 FPS. You also get Pro mode for the video recording, but there was no video stabilization mode available in the camera app. So you need a stand or a steady hand to record it, or else there would be a lot of blur in your video. And also, while I was taking a picture, the live preview of it was not as good when I see the result. Obviously, it is because of the processing done later on. So this was just the experience which I'm sharing with you all. So overall, if I have to sum up about the camera result, then we don't get optical image stabilization in it. Then low light photography is not to the point. And also in live preview, like when we are taking a picture and when we see the result, both are just different. The connectivity option does have 4G and VoLTE for both the SIM slots, because usually what happens is most of the phones doesn't allow VoLTE access for the secondary SIM slot, but that is not the case here. Now you can use 2 Jio SIMs in it without any worry. Other connectivity options are dual band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0 plus BLE, NFC and USB OTG. Call quality is great, no issue in mic reception and no lag in voice delivery because of the VoLTE, and speaker is also quite loud and clear. Well, now to summarize it, Honor V10 comes with some heavy specifications along with cool features at a price of Rs 30,000. Here you get decent battery, better camera, AI focused processor. I know it is just a start, but hey, it is doing what it says, okay? And then also, how can we forget its premium design? Here we get Android Oreo along with EMUI 8.0, and there are a lot many customization options. What I think is Huawei has worked on both software and hardware department. But talking about its cons, we don't have waterproofing here, no option for video stabilization, low light camera lags a bit, and also it is brittle because it fell for just one time and I got cracks on the screen. Well, that is about it. I think this phone gives a competition to OnePlus 5T, which is 4,000 rupees costlier. So Honor V10 is giving a good competition to OnePlus 5T, which is 4,000 rupees costlier than it. So if you are in a mood to buy a flagship phone but don't want to pay a big amount for it, then you should go with Honor V10, because saving money is anytime better than bragging, right? Well, thank you so much for coming here. We are coming up with lot many videos, so subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon. Until then, stay tuned and stay happy.